today's yoga flow, I have an overall gentle yoga flow for you. And if you have comments, leave them below. Go ahead and subscribe, like this video if it feels good for you and if you want to see more. And once again, leave me a comment below if you have a suggestion for a flow you'd like to see me post in the future. So if you're ready, we're going to come to the mat and get ready to go. So joining me on the mat, go ahead and just find any seated position that feels good for you, and that can look however you want it to look. It can look lotus, it can look cross-legged, easy pose, whatever feels good for your pelvis. It's always a good idea to bring the pelvis up if you're going to be seated for a little bit longer, but we're going to go ahead and get into our flow quicker today. We're going to set a couple cleansing breaths to set our practice. So go ahead and come to your seated position, hands come to knees. And I invite you to close your eyes and just bring your attention to your breath, to the present moment. So closing your eyes, hands to the knees, roll your shoulders back gently. Open up the heart just slightly. Sitting up nice and tall in the spine. Just soften through the forehead, soften through the cheekbone, soften through the jawline. Inhaling through the nose. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in. And just go ahead and exhale side out. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling. Nice gentle cleansing breath. And exhale. Just let it all go. Just releasing anything that doesn't serve you today. Whatever that may be for you today. And one more time, big gentle inhale. Through the nose, exhale it through the mouth. Audibly just listen to the breath. What does it feel like? And take that a couple more times at your own pace. At your own breathing pattern. Maybe you notice yours is a little bit faster, the pace of your breath, and you want to slow it down. And keeping with this mindfulness of practicing the breath and allowing yourself to find that awareness for how it feels right now, will allow that to gently happen on its own. So just taking a couple more breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhale. All right, you can set any intention you'd like for your practice today, whether that be you need balance or whether that needs speed, peace, or calm. You do you, whatever feels good for you today. And we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to come into a child's pose. So just sinking back the hips, reaching the hips towards the heels, knowing it's okay if they don't come all the way to the heels, and just letting the toes reach back towards the back of the mat, letting the forehead drop to the mat, reaching the fingers forward, and then just relaxing, spreading the fingers and relaxing the forehead into the mat. So you're going to come into this pose and you're going to stay with that breath, that inhale and that exhale. So I'm going to take this a couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, we're going to gently spread our fingers, press them into the mat. We're going to arch our back, coming into like a cat-like motion. So cat pose. Finding a slight cat pose, we're going to just roll it forward, protraction in those shoulders, and then we're gently going to just lay the tummy towards the mat. Okay, so we're going to roll through this with some fluidity. So pressing into the mat with the hands. Reaching back, take a big inhale, and then exhale it back. Now, you see what feels good for you. Maybe you want to go faster, maybe you want to go slower. Arching through the back, inhaling, exhale down. Maybe you don't want to come all the way down. Maybe you want to take it at a different depth. Inhaling, exhaling back to that childlike pose. I'll take this a couple more times. Finding that fluidity for the spine, just gently waking it up. Maybe you've been sitting all day and the spine needs to move. Or maybe this is first thing in the morning and you've been laying in one position for a long time all night long. Let's take that a couple more times. Really feeling that roll in the spine. And exhale. Last time we're coming up, pressing up, inhale. And then engaging the core, shoot it back, exhale. All right, let's go ahead and tuck the toes. We're gonna come up into our downward dog. And we're just gonna pedal out the feet. So shooting the heels back towards the back of the mat, knowing that if they don't come all the way to the mat, that's okay. Just reaching for whatever depth your body wants you to go to today. Maybe you're tighter today. We tend to be different day by day. Some days we're tighter, some days we're looser. And our body might need something different from time to time. So we're just gonna gently reach the heels towards the back of the mat. Maybe you have a slight bend in the knee, and that's okay. That can feel better for the hips and for the hammies. And maybe you work into that. Maybe we take the knees and bend them a little bit. Really pressing in, spreading through the fingers, finding that engagement through the upper body, that strength and power, but also that stretch. All right, let's gently just roll the heels to the right side of the mat. And feel that side body stretch, pressing down, reaching the forehead towards the mat, finding that engagement through the core. And then we're gonna come to the other side, so just rolling the heels to the left. Find that side body stretch. Staying with the breath. And then coming back through center. Let's take a gentle break. Coming down to the knees. All right, take a couple cat cows here if you want. So just arching through the spine. Taking that exhale through that cat pose. And that inhale, dropping the belly towards the mat, reaching, lifting up the crown of the head. And then chin towards chest, engagement through the spine. Once again, belly pulls towards the spine. Pressing down through the mat. You can take this as fast or as slow as you want. Remembering that yoga is for you, and everybody's body is going to need a different flow, a different energy, a different movement. So really taking the time to be creative and exploratory and seeing what feels good for you. Maybe you want to take it to the side. Maybe you want to rock into the side a little bit more, or into the hips. We're going to do a barrel roll and wake up the spine more that way, making sure to find balance on both sides. Staying mindful, breathing. We're always breathing through the yoga practice. Not holding the breath necessarily, but always keeping it fluid. Okay, let's come back into that down dog. So just keeping the toes tucked, pressing the heels back. Go ahead and look back at the top of the thighs. Let's stretch more into the shoulders, so really pressing into the mat, dropping the forehead towards the mat, lengthening through the tailbone. A little slight retraction in the shoulders, but also we want to think about a balance there, right? So we want to find strength with that protraction, but also feel that slight retraction so that we get that stretch through the shoulders, through the spine. All right, let's go ahead and lift the right heel to the sky, three-legged dog, and go ahead and open up that hip, drop that heel towards the glute. Maybe you find a little hip roll, maybe you don't. Totally up to you. Just drawing that heel towards the back glute, making sure to stay nice and neutral up here at the top of the mat. And then we're just going to draw that knee up towards the nose. Place that right foot right next to the right hand. And we're going to drop into a low lunge here. So you can sink the knee down to the mat if you want, or you can keep this a bit more active. Just reaching up. Take a nice look up to the sky, up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. All right, on your next inhale, take that nice deep inhale, and then you're going to exhale. You're going to sink it back into a little half split. You can reach for the toe, you can keep the hands towards the mat. Whatever feels desirable for your body. We're going to inhale back to the top one more time. Big inhale. And exhale, sink it back. So now trying to keep the hips a little bit more neutral. So we're drawing that right hip back just slightly in order to get that nice stretch through this whole back side of the leg. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, coming back through. Okay, we're going to reach for that twist. So we're going to tuck the back toes. We're going to find that lift through the leg, coming back into that lunge. Drop the left hand to the right foot. Reach up. Little lunge twist. Reaching up, finding that line of energy from your left hand to your right hand. And maybe even from the back toe, pressing into the mat to the crown of the head. Lines of energy. And breathing. All right, bring the hand down and find a nice little triangle, or pyramid pose, or making a triangle with the legs. So extension through both legs here. If you find that you have a little micro bend in the knee here, maybe you're really tight in the legs and the hips, then that's okay. Work with it. Maybe you can find some mobility and move into it, but always being mindful of that breath. Maybe you even want to take the stance a little bit shorter. Being mindful of the breath. The breath is what's going to take you to a new level. So really extending out that exhale is going to allow your body to relax into the poses. All right, let's step it forward. Find your ragdoll pose. Little baby inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drop it down. All right, let's drop the left hand, reach the right hand to the sky. Open up. Big inhale and exhale. Other side. Right hand down, left hand up. Now, I have little micro bends, or maybe bigger bend in my knees here. So right knee is bent, maybe left leg is a little bit more straight. Totally up to you. Taking it down. Shake it out. Or maybe wag from side to side. Just making sure to stay with that breath, that inhale and that exhale. Opening up the mouth, just letting yourself hear the breath can be super powerful. All right, let's take a nice big inhale, rise all the way up. We're going to come up into a tall mountain. Palms come together at the top. So you can see me. And then we're going to come all the way down, hands at heart center. All right, let's find some awareness here for our stance. So really slightly tucking in the tailbone, engaging in the core at the same time. Mountain pose is a working pose. We're not just standing here. We're working. We're drawing in, we're engaging, activating muscles. Breathing in one more time. Lift and rise the arms, sweep them up. And then folding all the way down, bending, hinging from the hips, reaching that tummy to the top of the thighs. And then letting the rest of the head and the neck just fall gently down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Let's step it back. Downward dog. So pressing back into that downward dog. Now you know we're going. Gonna work to that other side. All right, let's find that inhale. Three-legged dog, left foot rises. You can take those hip rolls if you want. Just rolling through that joint. Finding that fluidity once more if you want. Or you're open, just hold it open. Drawing that heel towards the right glute. Really pressing down, fingers are spread, okay? All right, let's draw that knee up. Find that engagement, so a little bit of protraction here to find that lift, find that space to step that leg through and drop it right next to the left hand. So finding that low lunge, and once again, you can either drop that knee. We're going to take that low lunge. We're going to be here for a couple breaths. Inhaling. Inhale and exhale. All right, you know where we're going. Half splits. So big inhale, lift you up. And exhale, sink it back. Grab for the toe if you want. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Drawing that left hip back in order to find that neutral ground with the hips. And then we're going to lift it up. Find that little lunge. Maybe that knee is lifted. And then shoot it back one more time. Half splits. Take a big inhale. And exhale. All right. Coming back into that low lunge. Pull that knee up. We're headed for that lunge twist. So right hand comes down. Spread the fingers. Reach and lift. Take a big inhale as you lift and reach the fingertips to the sky. And then exhale. Sink into the pose. So drawing that left fingertips. Drawing those left fingertips back towards the back wall behind you. Opening up to the shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades together. And then find that extension. Opening up to the back, the chest, the heart. Finding that line of energy, also keeping the legs engaged. One more breath in here. And then we're going to find that nice forward pyramid pose. Okay, so once again, playing with the stance if you need to take it a little bit shorter, or maybe you want it longer, maybe you want to pop the toe. It's just going to intensify it a little bit more into the hamstrings, back of the leg. Take a big inhale, exhale, fold over the leg, drawing the knee towards the nose, the forehead to the shin, and knowing that that's the goal, right? To reach for those areas. But that might not be our goal right now, right? You find your goal. Maybe your goal is here. There's no wrong way to do yoga. You just have to listen to what your body needs. All right, we're going to step it forward. Find that ragdoll pose. Bend and stretch. Maybe find a little wiggle. Shake it out a little bit. Maybe you can take your hands and beat the glutes. Wake up the glutes. A little baby massage. We're going to find that stretch and twist. So left hand comes down. Bend the left knee. Reach and extend through the right fingertips. Opening up to that twist. Remember that exhale helps us create that space for the twist as the abdomen comes in, and we create a little bit more space there. Maybe it feels different this time around. And then drop the right hand. Inhale, lift the left fingertips. Bend the right knee. All right. Coming all the way up. Tall mountain. Press down to the feet, ground down, feel the earth beneath you. Reach the hands up. Exhale, we're going to cactus the arms. Draw the shoulders open. Draw the elbows apart. Maybe bend the knees, feel a nice little opening through the front of the body. And then inhale, rise back up. One more time. Exhale, opening up. And then we're going to inhale, fold it forward. All the way down, hinging from those hips. And then just dropping into the pose. Maybe grab the back of the legs and draw the body forward just slightly more. Option to clasp the fingers back behind you and find a little stretch for the shoulders. Breathing in. If this isn't available or you want to try something different, just clasp the hands back behind you. Opening up to the shoulders and another way. Maybe you clasp the elbows. Maybe whatever feels good for you. Maybe you just reach the arms back. Staying with that breath. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, we're going to come all the way up. And we're going to sink it into our chair pose. One chair pose. Breathing in. So we're going to find that core engagement here. Slight tuck to the pelvis, almost like they're coming together. We're really looking for engagement. And then finding that length from the fingertip to the pelvis. Pressing down to the feet. Breathing in. And then we're going to exhale, fold it forward. Breathing in, halfway lift. And exhale, forward. Let's go ahead and sink the hips down towards the feet. Find a little toe stretch here, little ankle mobility, dorsal flexion. Maybe you want to work with that for a minute. And we're just going to see if we can play with reaching the hands forward, feeling a nice stretch in the upper back. So just reaching the hands forward. Take a nice big inhale through the upper back. And exhale. Drop into it one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back up into your forward fold. We're going to step it back into our downward dog. And we're going to drop onto our left knee. We're going to pivot our leg to the side, a little kickstand. We're going to reach up, open up into a nice side body stretch. So just reaching that right body, or that right side, that right hand over the right ear. Nice side body stretch. Breathe in, breathing out. All right, we're going to rainbow the arms all the way over. Reaching the right hands to the right foot. And then the left hand goes over left ear. So opposite direction. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, sink into the pose. Maybe you want to drop it down a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch here. All right, coming back all the way around, rainbow the arms. We're going to take it to the other side. All right, so we're dropping, kickstanding the foot out, reaching the left arm up, and then shooting it over. Exhale. Big inhale finds length, and exhale sinks you into the pose. Stay nice and active in this arm, the supporting arm. Let it be engaged. One more big inhale. Find that length from fingertip to toe. Find that open heart. Reaching back. We're going to rainbow the arms all the way up and over. Left hand to left foot. Right hand over right ear. Reach and extend. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing into the area that you feel tight. Maybe that's right in this section. And once again, you can sink that down in to find a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch if you desire. Staying with the breath. One more. Breath in and out. And we're going to rainbow the arms all the way back over. Coming back to your tabletop position. Okay, from here, we're going to find a nice strong plank. So you're reaching the heels back towards the back of the mat. Just reaching them back and finding that core engagement. No dropped belly here. Engage in the core. Draw it up and in. All right, zip the inner thighs together. Shoot the heels back. Engage into the hands. Hands under shoulders. We're going to bring that right knee up to reach the right elbow. Drop it down towards the right hand. Coming into our pigeon pose. So maybe you want to walk the foot back just a little bit. So toes going to be pointed towards the wall, okay? Or the back of the mat. You can keep this active, staying up, or you can sink down into this pose. Taking a nice inhale, find length, and exhale, draw the body forward. Laying it right over the knee. Now you can play with the range of motion that you want to go for here. Stay here, or you can play with pulling that foot up just a little bit more, maybe creating a little bit more space, finding a little bit more opening. Staying mindful of the breath. Maybe you're working into more of a Ujjayi breath here. Maybe you're still taking that inhale through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Either one is quite okay. Whatever feels comfortable for you. I'll take a couple more here. Coming back to that intention as we slow things down that you set for yourself today. Maybe that was peace, maybe that was calm, maybe just relaxation, or maybe just to be present today. Just to find a moment to stop and find awareness and connect. All right, let's press it back up into that plank one more time. So a nice strong plank. Drawing that ribcage in. You ready? Okay. So drawing that left knee up towards the left elbow, and then just go ahead and drop that knee slowly all the way to the left hand, and then go ahead and slide that foot back, finding that pigeon pose. Now, another option for pigeon pose is to bend that back knee and then coming into the pose like this. Maybe this is more comfortable for you. It's going to feel different for everybody. So you choose what feels comfortable. You can always draw the body forward still here. You can keep the legs straight. You can play again with pulling the foot up a little bit more, creating a little bit more space, a little bit more depth. Maybe that's what your body's calling for today or what your body needs. Maybe wiggling into it, or maybe just coming right into stillness, depending on your energy and where you're at today, how tight you are, how much you might have needed this yoga today. It might take some work, right? You have to put in the effort to get to a place where it can be still and present. But making sure that we remember that when we work with the breath, that's what allows us to control how fast or how slow we can come in to that stillness. One more breath, inhale, and exhale. All right, we're gonna bring that leg all the way around, finding our seat. We're going to find our nice seated forward fold. So inhale, lift the arms all the way up to the sky. We're going to find some engagement through the core here. Hinge through the hips, okay? And if you need to find a nice little micro bend in the knees, that's always available. And we're just going to draw that body forward, drawing the tummy towards the thighs first, just like we did in our ragdoll. So essentially this is the same thing, just on the floor, but you might feel it differently this way. And then reaching the hands to wherever they meet. Maybe that's the leg, or the shin of the ankle, or the foot, or maybe it's past the foot. And then just go ahead and dropping the head down. So chin is going to roll towards the chest. And then just sink into the pose with the breath. We're going to stay here for a nice long 3 breaths. Inhale for a count of 3. Exhale for a count of 6. Inhale for a count of 3. Exhale for a count of 6. One more time. Inhale for a count of 3. Exhale for a count of 6. All right. Coming down, scooting the seat forward. We're just going to recline back down onto the back. We're going to take a little hug with the knees, come towards the chest, and maybe massage the spine, rocking back and forth. Maybe knees, find a little circle, draw a little circle on the ceiling. Maybe head wants to look from right to left. Maybe you don't do that all at the same time like I tried to do. Reach the heels to the sky, find a little bit of flexion in the feet, roll out the ankles. Little legs up towards the ceiling. This is good to pump our lymphatic system. Just to get off our feet, we're on our feet all day long, give them a break. Maybe you want to find a little bend and stretch, or maybe you just want to stay. in stillness. Take a couple more breaths here. Maybe hands come to heart, or one hand on the belly. Just noticing the breath and the movement of the breath through the belly and the chest here. We're going to drop the knees back down. Give a little hug one more time. So we're going to tee the arms out from right to left. Just taking a nice big T with the body. And we're just going to drop the knees all the way over to the right. Just letting them fall wherever they fall. This might mean that your shoulder comes up off the mat over here. Now we're always trying to reach it towards the mat, but don't be so hard on yourself if it comes up. Just know we have a goal, we have something to work into, and a lot of times we can do that with the breath. So the longer we stay in that pose, and the longer we find that long exhale for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 6, we can find ourselves releasing into those poses. So we get frustrated when we're up and we're like, my shoulder's not down. But just know that that's your body telling you that you need to do some work and you need to relax it. So you can bring the hand to the knee if you want. You can look the opposite direction with the neck. I'm going to bring the knees all the way up back through center. We're going to rock to the other side. So knees are just going to fall to the left. Keeping those arms teed if you want. Knowing once again, if we look like this while we're up, that's okay. Or maybe the hips just don't want to fall either. You can always take a towel or roll a blanket, put them up underneath the legs right here, underneath the knees. So if I'm switching to show you, just roll some blankets, put them underneath, just to create more space. So just allowing ourselves to know that that is okay, to create more space for our bodies when we're not there yet. Everything takes time. It's a practice. That is the practice of yoga. And the beauty of it, it reminds us of life. We can't just get what we want tomorrow. We have to work for it. We have to work hard for it. And it takes time and patience and love. Love for our body, love for our mind. Remembering that we can stretch the neck, looking the opposite direction if we want. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Let's come back through center. And let's just drop the feet down. Bring the feet to the width of the mat. And just drop the knees in together. One last little stretch here. Breathing in, breathing out. If you're ready, you can come into your Shavasana. Or you're welcome to stay in this stretch for a few more breaths. Just going to find the feet to the width of the mat and the arms away from the body. And I invite you to just keep the arms open, the hands open into a receiving state. We're here to learn. We're here because we know it takes time and we're willing. So just coming back to that full awareness of the breath and the body. Maybe you notice a difference in the breath from the beginning of the practice when we first started. Maybe you can start to feel those wave-like patterns in the breath. Maybe you can start to feel the movement more through the abdomen and through the chest, and maybe even rising into the shoulders, and then all the way back down. Every breath in sends the breath all the way in and through the body. And then every breath out, just releasing, letting go. And invite you to stay here in this Shavasana for as long as you desire, remembering that Shavasana is one of the most important poses and often neglected. Sometimes we focus on the movements and the asana and the physical, but in order to find that body and mind connection and that depth that we want for ourselves, that growth, we have to find that balance with the nervous system and all the things that we do all day long. And remembering to give ourselves time to take a break, to relax the mind, relax the body in order to make it and enable it to do better, to think more intuitively and to think more spiritually and be more in sync. So just taking as long as you need, staying with that breath. Maybe it's that pattern of 3 in and 6 out. I'll leave you here today. Namaste.